Hello and welcome to another special edition of FinTech Focus TV. Today we're going to be talking to one of our 100 most influential FinTechs of 2018, and I'm joined here today by CEO George Bevis of Tide. George, lovely to meet you. How are you doing?
Lovely to meet you.
Excellent. So George, tell us a little bit about yourself and the business, and you know, it seems to be quite an exciting time for you guys at the moment.
Sure. So Tide is in a very exciting moment in its history. We're quite a young business. We're only 3.5 years old since kind of first moment of deciding to launch the business, and just over a year since we actually did launch the business to the public. We're growing incredibly fast. We provide next generation current accounts for small and medium-sized businesses, and since we launched in January last year, well, by November of that year we were already opening 9% of all new small business current accounts in the UK at that point. So we're building up a lot in the UK right now, and we hope to go internationally next year.
Sure. I mean, 3.5 years, that's minuscule compared to some of the big software companies and established names in the area. Are you seeing the rate of growth is directly correlating to just the explosiveness of the industry at the moment? Or
I think the rate of growth for us is a function of just having a product that's much better than what was out there before, is the short answer. So current accounts for businesses historically have been offered by banks who offered exactly the same products as they gave their consumer customers, and that's just not good enough for modern business. So we have something that's a lot better in various ways, and as a result of that, we have fortunately been able to get a big market share very quickly.
For sure. And was it a case that you were in one of those positions where you were using one of, I suppose, competitors, would it be? Or is it just a brand new kind of product? You've noticed the pain point and went in and solved it? Or how did the idea come about for Tide?
So I've been an entrepreneur a few times before, and I've also been a banker in the past, as well as having had quite a lot of involvement in public policy relating to small business. So I wrote a book on that topic for one of the big political parties a few years ago. So for me, it was always pretty obvious that somebody needed to fix business banking, and that the ways in which Tide does it would be the right ways to do it. So that made it pretty obvious. We work with a white label provider of some core banking services, and that made the job a lot easier for us. But still, everything that our members see is us. Sure.
And I suppose recognizing that pain point and that opportunity there, does that lead to potentially limiting what your expansion could be, or is it just a case of until you get every bank, or how do you evolve what you're doing at the moment?
So we think we can get to a fairly substantial market share in the UK. We think there is a very big difference between what traditional banks are capable of achieving for their customers and what Tide can. So we definitely don't think that the upper limit on our market share is 10%. We think it can be quite a lot higher than that.
For sure, yeah.
Over time. So mainly our evolution is in the UK is about evolving our feature set and continuing to rely on the tremendous word of mouth growth that we've seen in the entrepreneur community.
Sure.
That's in the UK, and then internationally we'll be launching in a number of countries in Europe next year.
Excellent, exciting. And what do you see as your kind of big challenges, I suppose, ahead? Is there anything that's kind of looming in the distance that you're looking with any apprehension, or is it just pure?
So our biggest challenge remains just awareness. People haven't heard of our product. If they've heard of it, they want to use it. But
Sure.
if they haven't heard of it, it's very hard to get them to use it.
Yeah.
So awareness is our single biggest challenge. I think as we develop the business, we will be, as time goes on, that awareness problem will go away.
Yeah, I'm sure it will do. And from a personal point of view, is this you for the foreseeable future? You mentioned your kind of entrepreneurial background. Have you got any other sort of ideas or anything that you've spotted that any other ties that you want to get involved with?
Well, right now I'm trying to hire for my own replacement, so I'm trying to get
Wow.
a new CEO for Tide, and I'm pretty optimistic that we'll have one in place this year. Once that's done, I still plan on sticking around in Tide. I have enjoyed the ride so far, and it'd be very sad to step away. But I do think that, my expertise was at the startup stage. We're no longer a startup, we're now a scale-up, and that's a different set of skills which, relies on experiences I haven't had. So I think there are better people to do that job than me. It is, of course, possible that as a natural entrepreneur I might kick off a few things in the future, but for right now I'm very focused on Tide.
Well, fingers crossed we'll see you in our next list of 100 influential fintechs. I'm sure you have a couple of ideas coming up in the future. All the best of luck with Tide. It sounds like a really interesting project and a fascinating time to be involved with the business, and best of luck with everything. Thanks once again, George Bevis of Tide.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. We look forward to meeting you next time on another episode of FinTech Focus TV. Thank you.